Hey guys, today's video is going to be for any athlete, whether trained or untrained in the weight room, who wants to carry over their current abilities to their sport. So, the first example I'm going to give is the average football player. We'll talk about a freshman football player in this example. So, when a freshman football player first enters the program, they're thrown into the weight room, and in their first year of training, they might add 100 pounds to their squat, and immediately they'll see carryover from that weight room gain into their sports performance. They'll run faster, they'll jump higher, and that's all good. But when the next year they add another 100 pounds to their squat, it's very common for them not to see the carryover from the weight room. Yeah, they may be squatting 100 more pounds, but they're not really sprinting that much faster. They're not jumping that much faster. And the reason for this is force development, or the amount of force you apply, is very dependent on time. And so when we look at sport-specific movements, like for example running or jumping, where we have a very quick stretch and shortening cycle, this is happening in tenths of seconds, like a tenth of a second. And in Zatsiorsky's book, Science and Practice of Strength Training, he tells us that on average, it takes about 0.3 to 0.4 seconds to develop our maximum potential force. So, for example, if this football player were able to squat 300 pounds, then it would take them about 0.4 seconds to develop that 300-pound force. And so the reason we don't see carryover is because when we have a very fast time to apply it, very short time to apply it, we're only able to apply a percentage of that 300-pound force. So if the athlete is running or jumping and it takes 0.1 second movement, they're only going to apply 1/4 of that maximal force. Okay, so what we can do here is, since he's not having that specific carryover, instead of doing very slow lifts, doing 1 rep max deadlifts, 1 rep max squats, we're going to want to bring that athlete on the other end of the spectrum, where we may have an absolute strength on this side and an absolute speed on this side. We're going to bring that athlete over the absolute speed. We're going to move the rep range up just a little bit, drop the intensity down to 70 to 80%, and every lift he's going to do has got to be full speed, and it's got to be quick. Okay, we also want to do plyometrics correctly, which will be for another video. But what we'll do is it will teach the athlete to develop a fast rate of force development, and the more the athlete can apply that force in 0.1 seconds, or whatever the movement may be, it's different for every sport, the more carryover you will have from the sport. Now, in another example, we could look at a basketball player, a typical basketball player, and in this case, we'll talk about an untrained basketball player who's never been in the weight room. In this case, they're going to probably be on the absolute speed side, because all they ever do is shoot around in the gym and go full speed. There's a lot of athletes like that who aren't very strong in the weight room, but they can jump higher most of the time than kids that are in the weight room. And the reason for this is because they can apply almost 100% of their maximum force in that very short time. They've trained their bodies to apply that. They're almost 100% of their force in that sport-specific time period. So what we can do for these athletes is bring them on the absolute strength side of the scale and increase their maximum strength. Therefore, they'll be able to apply more force into that specific time period, depending on the sport, to allow them to apply more force, and if it's jumping or running. Yeah, that's just a few things that we can do to improve the carryover from weightlifting and strength training to the sport. But I'll be making videos now every Sunday and releasing them. Here's another thing. Just an example, I want to bring it up. So if you hold your finger out like this, Okay, and you just spring it up like that. Okay, and then you now take the same finger and you hold it against your thumb, hold it there for a second, and then spring it. Which one had more force? The one that you held, right? And that's because it wasn't limited by the amount of time. By doing this, you allow the tension and the force to build up, and then you're able to apply 100% of the force. But when you go like this, it's a much quicker movement where tension isn't allowed to be built up. Therefore, you're not going to be able to apply 100% of your force. So that's just an example you can look at to kind of prove this theory. But I hope this video helped. Any questions, comments, just post them below. Please subscribe to my channel. Like I said, I'll be putting out videos every Sunday now. So see you guys next time. Bye.